a person with important responsibilities and who's a known figure, when he, sort of takes up a Chinese drone in his hand and then, belittles the entire industry, that's when young people like me also have to speak up, because it's just, quite frustrating that we have 400 plus companies in the country, and about 40 to 50 drone component companies who are working very hard to overcome all these challenges. And then someone who's a sort of followed personality by at least some part of the society comes up and holds up a Chinese drone and just says that, we don't understand anything in India, and, this is none of these parts are made in India. So it's quite demotivating, essentially.
When we see our comparisons with the drone technology with China or any other country for that matter, how do you find India in the world of drones making and operating drones and all other regulation and all other things which are related to drones? How do you find India in comparison with other countries, China or for that matter any other country?
See, when we talk about drones, we have essentially, three aspects which we talk. We talk about regulation, we talk about technology, and we talk about adoption. So since 2021, government has come up, like a front runner, basically with a swinging bat, and has made sure that policy and the regulations, which is the first aspect that is very clear. In 2021, government proactively, with support of industry and academia, took a stance that we no longer believe that we are confused, or we are, looking at drones from a confusion lens. We very clearly understand that drones is a opportunity. Technology has been used since quite some time, but it has to be one of the most important technologies going forward, which is when there was a focus built on making India a global drone hub. First thing that led to this entire focus on drones is that there was a ease of doing business. A regulation came out, which essentially talked about how people can manufacture drones, certify drones, fly, and various other things around the regulation. Before this, we had multiple sets of regulations where, to interpret the regulation also, you required a lawyer first. So let's say there are two people out of a, engineering college, they want to build a drone company. First, they would need to, hire a lawyer, understand regulations and all of that. It was going on since quite some time. First time government came and said, you know what, by the way, the language of the regulations will also be very easy, so that the young person in the country can, understand it himself. Then government announced incentives, the financial incentives. You do 100 rupees of sales, and if you have raw materials and other expenses towards the goods that have been gone, let's say, for example, that is 40 rupees. 100 minus 40, the net value is called as value addition, and on that government gives 20% incentive. And third, government said, by the way, you know what, we don't want to do ease of doing business and financial incentives for everyone. We want to disproportionately support, Indian ecosystem. So there was a blanket ban on the import of foreign drones. Lot of people looking at my video and other aspects, keep, talking loosely, saying that, but people are getting Chinese components, people are getting foreign components and all. From a policy perspective, it is absolutely clear. As of now, presently, there is ease of doing business. There are financial incentives, which the scheme got over. Now there is a potential of a new scheme coming up. And third, there is an import ban on import of drones as a whole and as a part, like as a kit, essentially. So now we are going to the next step. The next step is basically talking about the technology part, which is how do you make sure that you have supply chain and you have components being built and all, which is slowly ramping up in the country. We have so many companies who are doing more than 60%, 70% indigenous content. So I don't understand how this comes out that we don't have any understanding of components. No one is building components in the country. And third and most important, which is adoption. India is the only country where about 300,000 villages, 3 lakh villages have been mapped with drones, and there is land record digitization that is happening. India is the only country where there are 15,000, women self-help groups that are getting drones and training and deployment of agriculture spraying drones in such a large number. India is the only country where, more than 10 states, they have done pilot projects on healthcare delivery. So all of this is being happening. And, you totally disregard this and say, we have no understanding of this tech, and we are not building anything. Especially the point is by handling, a drone that is of DJI and that is banned. I mean, that is slightly, discomforting to me and, maybe the entire community as a whole.
Smit, you pointed out the regulations about drones in India. And in your Twitter video, you have also raised a concern about Rahul Gandhi having permissions to fly that drone or whatever he was saying. So what are the regulations for a person which you believe that Rahul Gandhi has not followed?
See, I believe why only Rahul Gandhi? Anyone in the country when they fly a drone, the drone rules 2021, which is the current extent of the law that applies. And my interpretation of this, of course, government is the final body on taking all of this, compliance and all. But my interpretation of this, and this is very well established, is that when a manufacturer makes a drone, he has to get it type certified. This is for the civil ecosystem. When a person owns the drone, that drone has to be registered. Person who tries to fly a drone should have a remote pilot certificate. This is as per the 2021 regulations. And if you fly drones in certain areas that are restricted, which are called red zones or yellow zones, you need permission from the appropriate authority. In case of red zone, which is sensitive areas like Delhi and all other cities, you need permission first from Ministry of Civil Aviation and Ministry of Home Affairs. Apart from all of this, you require a third party liability insurance. So my simple point is that anyone in the country, especially someone who has a very big responsibility to, motivate people, should at least, check a little bit before, talking about a subject.
So, if we see the whole matter in totality, you are of the firm view that India is far ahead of many countries in the drone system, and our ecosystem supports the whole trade of drones and operation of drones and adaptation of drones.
See, regulations is very clear in that regulations is very clear. We are now working on enabling long range regulations and delivery, of urban areas and long range, that is already being worked upon. Adoption is very clear. We have armed forces and we have many other, use cases where drones are being adopted in large numbers. And technology wise, there is a very concentrated focus by both the defense forces as well as the civil ecosystem to make sure that localization can increase. But clearly saying that we have no understanding of components and no one builds any components in India. Well, I think, I would be very happy to not just one person, but to anyone who has doubt about this, introduce them to 10 companies who are building fantastic components. They may be small, but they are doing very well. They are all Indians. They are putting their effort. So, I mean, that is the calibration that I would, request everyone who's talking about the subject to put in.